welcome you to this broadcast of men's basketball on NKTelco Sports. We're at the Ohio Northern University Sports Center, where Mount Union will take on Ohio Northern. Today's game brought to you by the following sponsors: John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapeno's Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco. Thanks for joining us on NKTelco Sports. I'm Dave Helmstetter with Michael Hearn, courtside at the Sports Center on the campus of Ohio Northern University. This game shapes up no matter what team you look at. This is a big game for both of them. If you're Ohio Northern, you're trying to get that final berth in the tournament coming up at the end of February.
Yeah, and you're going to have to play nearly flawless today, as we'll see the keys in a couple of minutes. But you look at Mount Union, highest ranking in program history at number 3 at 16-2. Not the way they wanted to come into this matchup, though. Losing to John Carroll, not able to make a couple of free throws, down by 3, and with a lane violation to end the game. I mean, that's not what you want. Northern came in and beat up on Wilmington a 39-24 second half, and that's what you need. You need more of that scoring and more of that balance that they got. And, oh, yeah, C.J. Napier and Adam Scott to have massive games.
And Ohio Northern in a three-way tie as we look at it today with Otterbein and Baldwin Wallace for 6th place in the conference standings. And they're going to make a special presentation here to C.J. Napier at center court with head coach Neil Young. As we move to the center court, as you take a look at head coach Neil Young and the 1,000-point club accomplishment for CJ, and he gets the game ball. He has 1,141 points, the 40th member of that club. Quite an accomplishment for the young man. He missed even a couple of games early in the season because of an injury, but one thing has been constant for Ohio Northern, and that's been C.J. Napier.
Talk about Mount Union's 1,000-point score in a little bit, too.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. You are watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Whatever Cards and Games in Ada is your locally owned, family-friendly business for all your gaming needs. We carry a wide range of collectible card games, board games, family games, role-playing games, educational games for all ages, and more. Stop in today for your much-needed expansion packs and war miniatures. We are an official tournament store for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Cardfight Vanguard. Expect an enjoyable time at Whatever Cards and Games, where there's fun for everyone.
Four Seasons Drive-Thru, we have the coolest beverages in town and specials to satisfy all appetites.
Check out our Facebook page for all the details and times of Roundy's Pies. Get this great pizza by the slice or take home a whole pie. And don't forget his spectacular subs.
At Four Seasons Drive-Thru, we have all the supplies you need for game day celebrations.
Four Seasons Drive-Thru, 205 North Main Street in Ada. Great drinks, great food, wonderful service, and amazing prices.
Go Bears!
These two teams met earlier in the season. Ohio Northern lost at Mount Union back in early December, 89-17. Ohio Northern, of course, coming off the win against Wilmington, 79-62. Pretty good second half of basketball for the Polar Bears against the Quakers.
And again, something I kind of talked about that night. CJ had 23 and 10. Adam Scott had 20 and 7. Will Miller had 9 and 9. But a good portion of that ball game, when Northern continued to build their lead, did not have the top two scorers on the floor at the same time.
Introducing Mount Union, the Purple Raiders, their starting lineup: Colin Gurley, Chris Painter, Darrell Newsom, Christian Parker, and Braden Poole, the starters for Mount Union. They dim the lights for the home team, the Polar Bears. Ohio Northern under head coach Neil Young. 9-9 on the season, 5-6, and first out off the bench, Will Miller, a freshman from Ottoville. And number 5, a senior, Landon Long, in the starting lineup here this afternoon. And number 15, a senior, Michael Berner at 6'8". And number 22, we just saw him presented with the game ball for the 1,000th point, C.J. Napier. And number 23, a senior out of Wapakoneta, Adam Scott. So the starters are Miller, Long, Berner, Napier, and Scott for the home team. Let's take a look at our keys to game tonight, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza, bringing you this afternoon's keys. First for the Purple Raiders.
Not only the most efficient offense in the OAC, the most electric offense in the OAC at 82 points a game. Slow them down, create right pace of play, get your big plays in the right time for Mount. And if you look at what ONU wants to do, you can pretty much just kind of flip that on his side. First of all, you want to try to slow these guys down, shoot the ball with confidence, and limit your turnovers, about 15 a game. And my favorite key is defend without fouling. That just seems like good life advice.
Defend without fouling, and we move along as the Purple Raiders head coach Mike Fueline has compiled a 210-97 record overall at Mount Union. And the Purple Raiders will have the basketball first.
Well, 15 feet of guys in that center circle.
Purple Raiders with the basketball. Out front it is Gurley. He'll take the 3. Shot off the front of the iron. Napier with the rebound.
That's his 113th 3 this year. You have 3 of the top 7 scorers in the OAC in this ball game today, including that young man. You've also got Christian Parker, number 2 at 17.9, and that guy right there, C.J. Napier, is 5th at 17.1.
Back out to Scott for 3. There it is. And Ohio Northern off to a good start as Scott knocks home the 3.
And that's the kind of offense you're going to need if you're Northern to be able to sustain this team on their run. And your great play compounded with one of their mistakes. Good start for ONU.
So Ohio Northern here in the first minute of play with the 3-0 lead and the basketball. You kind of wonder if the loss against John Carroll will have any effect on Mount Union. How will they react, Michael?
Well, I always think about that, and then I think about the travel between here and Alliance. Whether you're going there or they're coming here, that's not an easy bus trip.
Berner back over to Long. Long in the starting lineup this afternoon. Napier, he'll go into the lane off. Left-handed shot, no good. A rebound comes down to Braden Poole.
And we figured out about Michael Berner. He's the only guy for ONU who started all 18 games.
Shot from the outside. It's there as Darrell Newsom with the 3.
He's got a good stroke. He shoots 50% from out there. That's his 38th 3 of the year.
Amazing stat. Inside Berner, back over to Miller to the baseline. He'll kick it back out. Long's got it. There it is. Landon Long, he can hit 3s as well.
You wonder, though, how long the pacing of that can keep up. If you're Northern, you did a great job on your first 2 scoring possessions of creating off the ball.
Painter into the lane, back to the free throw line, shot no good, rebound, tipped away. Adam Scott, I think he thought he had his hands on it, and it comes back to Colin Gurley.
Who got his head coach Mike Fueline just screaming at him, go! He picked that ball with the free throw line on the other end, and coach is right next to me. And by the way, we figured out that his uncle, who said he was not an assistant coach until he came here 8 years ago. Yeah. Was a head coach at the high school level for about 30 years.
Shot inside off the glass is Newsom.
It's a great play.
Newsom averaging 10.2 points and a foul in the backcourt. And that's going to go against Chris Painter.
Mount Union's won 8 straight in this series going back to 2019, but they've not done well here. ONU 35-18 here in this series and 61-47 overall.
Miller with the basketball. Shot a little bit short. Here comes the Purple Raiders as Gurley will bring it up. He'll go to the right side. Into the lane he goes. Berner is there, but he's going to take the extra step.
One of those extra steps when you get out of bed in the morning and you just think, I'm just going to take one shot here. He took about 4.
Turnover by the Purple Raiders, and Ohio Northern will bring it up.
That wasn't a bad shot for Miller, though. He's going to make that more often than not. But again, if you watch Ohio Northern, watch Mount Union chase them high, Northern's doing a really good job of creating it away from the dribble.
Parker with the rebound. Painter with the basketball. Parker, long range, he'll connect.
He averages 17.9, 7.4 rebounds. That's just his 10th three in 37 attempts. That's not his bag, but I think we're going to learn today really quick. If you're going to leave me open and play a step off, there are 10 guys on the floor who are going to take shots.
Inside, Napier will draw the foul. Shot doesn't quite fall home for Ohio Northern. Let's see who the foul is on. Should be on Braden Poole, 6'5" graduate student.
You know, I was thinking about this on the way up here that we're not that far removed from when we had the OAC Game of the Week. We actually did Mount Union a couple years ago when they won the OAC title, and just thinking about the crowd that night, hoping that that kind of crowd would file in here for these 2 games, and it appears we've got at least a little bit of that.
Napier will connect. We're tied at 8-all on the John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard.
Yeah, he's pretty automatic from there lately.
Out front it is. Poole will have the basketball. He'll take the 15-footer. Shot no good. And inside, let's see what the call is on.
I would have thought it was on Parker, but
it's going to go against number 15, Michael Berner.
I would be surprised if either Parker and or Berner, by the time this game is done, do not have each 4 fouls. They are just working that physically against one another down low.
Painter chases down the missed shot, and we've got to check the shot clock.
The argument was that it hit the rim, but I'm sorry, it must have been that Northern acquired that ball at some point.
They put 8 seconds back on the board.
Well, he put 26 up there. You'd put 20 if it hit the rim, but I didn't see where Northern had control of that ball to be deemed a change of possession.
Parker inside the arc. Miller with the rebound. Will Miller, he'll bring it up court. He's looking at Chris Painter on defense against him. He goes left, back over to Scott. He'll go to the right side, pushes it inside to Berner. Ball taken away there by Painter.
There we go. We talked about turnovers for Northern. What a great move.
Shot no good by Painter, and Napier with the rebound. 15.5 minutes plus on the first half clock here at Ohio Northern. Miller back over to Long, back over to Scott. Scott wants to move. He'll get it back out to Berner.
I think Mount Union's figured out, by the way, about these switches, because they've been much better the last 2 possessions than they were early on to allow those threes.
Gurley with the steal. He'll take the shot. Goes long, and Napier will have it, and Ohio Northern will try and take the lead on this possession. Tied at 8. Miller into the lane, off the glass, no good.
That's on Berner. It's gotta be.
It has to be, yes.
He's not sure why, but from my perspective, he climbed over a kid's back, and now will be replaced by Heath Jeffries. But that's 2 on him. You can
take a look at it again. Yep.
Yeah, you can't just jump over a guy. It just doesn't work that way. Or I guess you can if they're not paying attention.
Basketball with Painters. Purple Raiders will have it now. This is Gurley. Outside Poole, his shot no good.
How much you think in film that will bother Coach Young? CJ didn't even get his hand up. Something about hand down, man down.
Napier with it, top of the key. Poole's on him. Long bounces it right off of Jeffries, but Ohio Northern will somehow maintain it. Off-balance pass by Miller. Napier to Scott in the corner. That kind of typifies that possession, doesn't it?
If you were able to see, I don't know if we have a shot of it, but watch Will Miller at half court right here. Watch him pick this up. Realize where his feet are. Oh! All right. But I think he got away with it because Mount touched the basketball, and then the ball just gets stuck.
A thunk right there.
Adam Scott just threw his hands up after really?
14:21 to go on our John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard here at Ohio Northern. Into the lineup is Ethan Bell.
He's got a spark plug off the bench.
He's got the basketball. Jeffries rolls home. He'll pick up the missed shot and put it up and in. Heath Jeffries gets the offensive rebound and putback.
First ONU lead since 6-3.
Corey Hudson takes it to the hoop for Mount Union, and he'll score. 6'1" freshman out of Pickerington.
He gets to wear the same colors. I believe he went to Central.
Carson Conley into the lineup also for Ohio Northern. Scott working on Painter. Back to Jeffries. Miller. Scott now. Shot clock at 5. Scott in front of the hoop. Nice shot. Ohio Northern will take the lead.
Said it a couple of nights ago. Pretty much anything 8 to 10 feet in front of the rim, there's a good chance on a straight line that either C.J. Napier or Adam Scott are going to call money.
Mason Studer will come into the lineup for Ohio Northern here momentarily. Out front, there's the 3 by Gurley. Shot no good. Miller, ball taken away. Put back there by...
That's a bad foul on Ethan Bell's part. Your man is in front of you, and one of your own players is between you and him. He reached for that ball, and the only connection he got was to the head of the shooter.
Got a break in the action. 12:55 to go. Ohio Northern 12. Mount Union 10. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Nareda Lanes in Ada offers men's league bowls on Mondays and Wednesday evenings, women's league bowls on Thursday evenings, couples bowls on Friday evenings, kids bowl on Saturday mornings from December through March, Scotch mixed double bowls on the last Saturday of every month, open bowling on Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon reserve the bowling alley for children's birthday parties, and on Sunday, lanes are available to reserve for birthdays of any age as well as for group events. Check out NaredaLanes.com for more info.
Taking a look inside the Mount Union bench. There you see head coach Mike Fueline talking to his troops, and he puts his assistant coaches to work, doesn't he?
Yeah, his uncle is over there just drawing up plays. He's sitting right beside me. He's got his own little stool, and I'm just kind of watching him work out of the corner of my eye and just watching kind of the neat way that works out.
Officials for tonight's contest: Eric Anderson, Kevin Klein, and Chuck Dockin, as Jeffrey Mansfield will connect on the free throw.
Right off the back of the rim. Hey, look at that, out of Wilmington. We've seen a lot of those kids lately.
We have. Second one also off target.
Unfortunately, Wilmington left the misses from the free throw here for him to find.
Inside it goes. Out of bounds. That'll be Ohio Northern turnover.
Right idea. Just had a lot of pepper on that one. Adam Scott like he's playing quarterback at Walpock. Well, they didn't throw when he was there, so I guess that doesn't work.
Corey Hudson with the basketball. Number 41, Logan Hill.
Impressive beard game.
6'7". Yeah, impressive beard, yeah. End of the lane goes McCartney. Shot no good. Battle for the rebound.
Ends up tying him up. Mansfield reaches in there and gets just enough for his Napier back into the ball game.
12:22 to go. First half of play.
I got a feeling this is going to be one of those catch and shoot plays. Right back on the inside. Nope. They tried to set him up the last time they did it. There it is.
Shot to the corner, no good. Studer with a rebound.
The only problem with running that play off the inbound is that's a 1-for-1. If you miss that, there's nobody on that side for you to try to rebound that ball.
Studer back out to Bell.
Good catch.
Over to Conley.
Sort of pinned it on the hip, and he caught a fastball.
Napier, shot no good. Chase for the rebound, comes down to Hudson. Purple Raiders cross the timeline. Into the lane, there's going to be a reach, I do believe.
You got 3 now.
It's going to go on Studer. Number 21, Dante Collier, will come into the lineup for Mount Union. Inbounds pass to Mansfield. Wants to shoot, fade away. Bell will grab the rebound.
Napier might have bothered that too, because he kind of got up into him. It's smart defense playing without your hands if you get away with it.
Napier with it out front. Conley into the lane. Back out. Studer. Mason Studer will connect. 11th three-point field goal of the season for Studer.
Largest lead for Northern, and also the first time they've scored in about 3.5 minutes.
5-point advantage, Ohio Northern. Collier into the lane. Back out Hudson. 4-3. Shot no good. Rebound Hill. He'll dish it back out from the corner. Shot is there. And knocking that one home is Dante Collier.
Dante's 11th of the year out of Licking Heights in Columbus.
Bell to Conley. Conley looking inside, but they'll come back out to Jeffries.
He got caught on Mount's defense, got up in his face, and he didn't want to pick his dribble up.
Napier, nice move, as we've grown accustomed to. Napier with the bucket.
That's his first from the field in this game, and the last time he scored, he made it an 8-8 game. So my math says a 9-4 run for Northern.
Into the lane, Hudson. Wow.
Toast.
Nice move by Hudson.
He's got his team's last 4.
Just like it floats up there.
It's kind of similar to what C.J. Napier did on the other end.
Bell with the basketball. Back over to Conley. Conley inside. Scott trying to make his move. Off-balance shot. Excuse me, make that Jeffries.
He had the right idea. When he kind of floated across, he went to go up and under and try to draw that foul. They didn't give it to him.
Mansfield takes it inside. Brings it back out to Hudson. Shot clock at 15 seconds.
Shoe game is incredibly strong for these Mount kids.
There's the feed inside. Beautiful assist as Jonah McCartney will score off Mansfield's bounce pass inside.
Sounds like a Beetle.
It does. Bell to Napier out front. C.J. Napier will knock it home.
C.J. hits it, but that play is entirely made by Ethan Bell, drawing 2 defenders to the baseline, finding a spot to hit C.J. up top.
Big assist for Bell. Let's see what Ohio Northern does on defense. Long range shot. Hudson. Who invited him to the party?
He's got the last 7 for his team. Sorry, 7 of the last 9.
Hudson averaging 6.6 points, and he's passed that already.
And he was just 3 of 18 from 3. That didn't look like a guy who's missed 15 of 18.
Does not. Davis with the basketball. Number 12. He'll handle it. And there's a kick out of bounds.
Carson Conley immediately said, yeah, that's cool. Is that something for me? I'll go ahead and head to the bench.
8:14 to go as substitutes come in for both teams, and Mount Union with a score here could take the lead. Gurley back out to Mansfield. Rebound Scott.
Good box out by Heath Jeffries to allow him to get that ball easy.
Jeffries. Long, Miller, Scott looking inside. Jeffries goes to the corner. Napier cuts inside. Miller handles the basketball.
I've said this before, but I continue to be amazed by Adam Scott's maturation as a basketball player over the last 4 years. Not just from a scoring perspective or what he can do, but his IQ is extremely high. You watch when he gets called on the wing, he doesn't try to force something in. He'll wait and be patient, wait for somebody to make a cut to put them in a good position. That's what he did for Napier to allow him to get a foul.
Will Miller will inbound it. Out of Ottoville, inbounds pass to Napier.
A big day for Ottoville, too. The girls are playing right now, and Casey Knippen plays in a little bit. She's sitting on the other side.
Short jump shot. Miller will get it. First basket of the afternoon for Will Miller.
I challenged him to get me 30 again. He said, I'll see what I can do.
He's 28 away.
He's 28 away, yeah. So I'm not down with the pacing of that, but I think he's on pace for like 8.
Into the lane goes Hudson back out front. Parker. Christian Parker's shot no good. Long with a rebound. Parker going back on defense. Long will draw the foul. Boy, what a smart play by Landon Long. I mean, he's going up against one of the better players in the OAC and Christian Parker.
And when he caught the ball at the opposite three-point line, you could see he kind of had in mind what he was going to do, because as he's going down, he sort of turns and looks behind him to his left enough to realize I could probably get this guy in the air.
And Long will step to the line and connects.
That's a hard play, though, too. Watch, because he'll have, I think it's Berner running with him here in a second. Now, Berner turns, it's a 2-on-1. You kind of think, maybe I'll wait, but he just decided, no, I know I can get that guy in. Now Parker's got 2 fouls.
Big play by Long. 7:08 to go here in the half as Long will connect on the free throw.
Apparently that wasn't meant for you. That's just like high school. The cheerleaders are bringing notes and it's not for you.
I was confused by the Northern Stars.
I think it's alumni weekend, or at least a lot of alumni are in the building.
Hudson with it. Mount Union will pull it back out. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Oh, what a steal by Miller.
Long. Big play by Miller once again. Now Long has it.
Oh, he wants it.
Berner. Long wants to take it inside. Nice jumper. Landon Long. That's a timeout, Mount Union. And Mount Union's coach not at all happy with the situation. Ohio Northern 26, Mount Union 19. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Households are using more connected devices than ever before. TVs are streaming, smartphones are browsing, security cameras are watching, and virtual assistants are, well, assisting.
You'll need an umbrella today.
As you add more devices, we are constantly improving our technology to deliver the fastest and most reliable internet to your home. So make sure you have enough bandwidth.
Get NKTelco high-speed internet with speeds up to 1 gig. Call 1-888-NKTelco today.
Ohio Northern lead, and there's some part of the student section.
Yeah, we were talking about the ONU women. They had an alumni as Mark Gilson just walked by. Big guy in a pink shirt, you can't miss him. But I love Peyton Mornigan just sitting on the floor, getting her hair braided, taking this game in. That's one way to get yourself ready for your next ball game.
Say they are relaxed and ready. At least that's what we hope it means.
Hopefully it's relaxed and focused.
Focused. Big point. Mount Union with the basketball as they try to go to the baseline. The foul will go. Let's see.
No, it's Northern ball.
It's going to go out of bounds.
I thought, based on Adam Scott's reaction at first, he jumped up like we just missed one, that it was going to be the same thing, like you were saying, a foul, but maybe that was a happy celebration. Blake Michael into the game for his 7th game this year for Northern.
Long Over to Scott. They'll bring it back around to Miller. Michael with the basketball trying to get it inside. That'll be a turnover. 5:54 to go in the half.
Too much English. Try one of those pull shots where you got to make one of the impossible ones, put a little too much spin on it.
Had that spin on it, yep.
I don't have that problem. I can't make them straight.
Long jumper is good as Darrell Newsom out of Twinsburg knocks it home.
That's about where he took that shot from, too.
It's going to be a foul in the backcourt, and head coach Mike Fuelline trying to argue his case against that one.
The weird thing is that isn't even the guy that I thought it was going to be on. I thought it was going to be a Braden Poole 30. He said you can't possibly call that. The official just gave him the blocking foul and walked away. Said it's fine.
Long with the ball. Scott will have it now. Michael handling it out front. Number 14. There's the steal. Up and in as Corey Hudson will score, and Ohio Northern will take the timeout. It's going to be a coach's timeout. There will be a 30-second timeout on this one, so we will keep it right here and remind you that tonight's game brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons drive-thru, Alapino's Mexican Grill, whatever cards and games, and NKTelco.
I love that guy. He's been the band director here for a long time. My wife graduated, and she'd probably not like me to say the year, but he was the band director then. And there's Casey Knippen. Said it's a big day for Audubon. Has to be a ham. Make sure she gets on camera. But she even flipped her hair. She said, I got to make sure I look good on camera. I have that same problem. Less hair, same problem.
You can't flip your hair. That's a tough challenge.
Not now. It doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work now.
Long looking at some pressure here from Mount Union. Purple Raiders wanted to take this game up a notch, apply some pressure. Miller will handle it out front. Scott. Napier. Long out front. Clock coming up on 4:50. Scott thought about it, but Gurley on him. Takes the shot, no good. Battle for the rebound, and Miller somehow is going to come off with it. Tosses it into Hudson.
That's the hardest thing, though. You're trying to save it.
Hudson to the off the backboard and in a soft roll, and he's got 9.
Didn't you say about 5 minutes ago who invited him to the party?
That's exactly correct.
I think they're going to cancel Corey Hudson's trip here to Ada.
We're tied at 26 all.
He should have 11.
Scott, nice move. Puts Ohio Northern back in the lead as Adam Scott, baseline move, and he has 7 points. You know, you're so right about Adam Scott as he develops as a player, just continually getting better and better.
And you know what? It's kind of funny, too, because obviously C.J. Napier being the big scorer is that 3 unleashed and up and down from Dante Collier, his second. But it's Adam Scott's one of those guys you feel like he's been around your program forever. I felt like he was a Wapak forever. But he doesn't have to be that big scorer. He does so many things well. He won't end up in an all-time category at ONU, but wins. He's the kind of guy that gets you wins.
Scott trying to get it inside to Napier.
Second time he set CJ up that way.
Darrell Newsom guilty of the foul.
Another one of the many 6'3" grad transfers. As you see, watch just the whip on this pass. Darrell said, I don't think so. This doesn't look like a foul to me. Napier misses a free throw. Ethan Bell back into the lineup.
We are tied at 28 all. 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go here in the first half of play. Napier trying to break the tie. He does with his 8th point of the night.
Makes sense because his first 2 free throws brought him to within 1 and even back at 8-8. He's that dude, as the kids say.
Collier cut off by Scott in the corner. Shot no good.
There are at least 3 of these Mount kids, 2 starters and a reserve, that when they come in, they've got such good, quick, accurate triggers.
Jeffries. Bell runs the baseline. Ball almost, it is stolen.
He took out the girls program.
Didn't think he was going to get that one back in.
He landed in a nest of bears.
Inside.
Ackerman?
Cool. Ackerman. Will Miller with the steal. Hanner will come back and as the 2 teams exchanging steals and turnovers.
Hot potato.
That's a good description. Gully.
Oh, got away with one.
Corner. Inside. Painter. Here comes Poole. Shot no good, and Napier with the basketball.
They're less than happy to our right about that. Thought maybe there was a little too much bumpage. Remember, not that long ago, Northern led by 7.
1-point lead. Jeffries, Miller with it now. Napier moving inside up, and C.J. Napier. I think we're getting used to it.
What a ridiculous set of things that he can make you pull out. The number 5 scorer in the league, 27th on all-time scoring list at ONU.
Inside the lane is Poole, and the shot's going to fall, but let's see if it counts, and it does. Foul will go against Napier. So it's a 1-point game, and we can tie it up with a free throw here from Poole. 23 out of 35 on the season.
First real opportunity. He broke the Mount Union school block record last year with 51. It's a 2-time OAC pick out of McDonald High School.
Made free throw here, ties it.
I don't know what McDonald's mascot is, but they miss an opportunity if they're not the Farmers. Just saying.
And we're tied.
That's what I would name it.
The Farmers.
All right, that's a McDonald's. What else would you call it?
I've been to McDonald's. Got a whistle. And
somebody in the student section said something they shouldn't have. He made her go sit between the kids in the student section. I have never seen that happen before.
She's a major in education. What do you think?
She's a majoring in babysitting right now.
Yeah. Bell avoids the double team, gets it to Scott. Scott gets it to the corner. They'll bring it back out front. Coming up on the final minute of this first half. Conley back into the lineup. He'll get it to Scott. He'll go inside. Shot blocked there by Hill. With it is Gurley. Ball comes back in to Newsom, and the ball goes on the floor. Scramble for it. And somehow Mount Union comes away with that one. Gurley will have it.
Gurley is a 1,000-point scorer and the all-time leader at Akron-Hoban in points.
Bell's going to chase this long rebound down.
Smart play by Gurley not to chase. That play could have easily been a 2-point set for ONU, but Gurley decided he was going to get back on the defensive end, try to cut off Bell and not let him get anywhere.
Foul goes against Newsom. That'll be a second as Corey Hudson comes back into the game. That's definitely not good news with the half Hudson has had.
Yeah, he's not invited to the ONU party.
Rounded out, Hill with the rebound.
Miller with an uncharacteristic miss from the line. Tied at 31. Northern 4 of 8 from 3, but 5 of 6 from the line. As we'll talk to Neil Young in a second. Crossover on Miller. 3-ball off the back of the rim. And here, Northern with the game and shot clock about synced. Will play for one, I would imagine. Bell across the line. Good pickup of his dribble. Maybe got away with the offhand as Miller works with 17. They'll work it up front and now out to the outside for Bell. Bell trapped to the line in 10 seconds. Gets a screen from Jeffries and rolls back out. Elbow jumper is smooth up and down. Final 4 seconds. Mount with a toss from the volleyball line. Good, and it went honest with you, I thought he walked. That is a question, and I could hear Neil Young ask, are you positive that he got that off? There's a good chance we have a good look at it, but let's see what Coach Young thinks about the first half.
We're here with Ohio Northern University coach Neil Young. 1 point Mount Union lead on the three. Any question about that three at the end, Coach?
I was just asking him if he made the three before or after he carried the ball, but I guess it was after he carried it, so they're going to count it.
As you look at the first half of play, this is a tight possession by possession kind of game. What did you like most about your team?
Well, we're fighting. You know what I mean? We're fighting. We're right there. We're not backing down. We just got to keep doing what we do. We don't have to do anything tonight that we haven't done all year. We just got to need another 20 minutes.
When you look at that second half, what do you want your team to do, or what are you going to tell them here in the locker room that they kind of got to step it up on?
We just can't get wore down, right? Like, they're really deep, they're really big, they're really physical. Like, we got to be able to play through fatigue this half, right, and not just get worn down.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Mount Union with a 1 point lead here at halftime, 34-33. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Of the 1993 men's basketball team.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Here at Ohio Northern, a very important men's basketball contest. Mount Union with a 1 point lead over Ohio Northern at the break there. You see the pep band. Kind of a controversial finish to that first half of basketball, Michael, on the shot that put Mount Union into the lead.
Yeah, Chris Bennett does a really good job, but I thought right about here, he shoved off and he kind of, when he palmed it like Coach Young was talking about, it kind of takes that extra step. I'm really surprised. I guess you're not calling a travel there, but he hit a terrific shot to give the number 3 team in the country a lead.
That 1 point lead as Ohio Northern had gotten the big shot down on their end, and I believe that was Ethan Bell with that shot.
Yeah, they look at the numbers at the half, and pretty much even in a lot of areas, but a lot of threes for Mount. I mean, they averaged 21 a game. They only shot 12 the first time these two teams met in Alliance. I don't know what you glean from a lot of this, because a lot of it is timely shooting on both sides.
Yeah, you know, we're talking about threes. I mean, 17 of them. They shot, 12, you said?
Yeah.
Against Ohio Northern the first time. 17 alone in this half, and connecting on 5 of them. That's a big difference. And, you know, you look at that first half, and number one, Corey Hudson, 11 points. That's a big production off the bench.
Especially for a kid who averages about 6.5. I mean, that's massive. We talked about protecting the basketball if you're Northern in the first half. They gave it away 8 times, and a couple of them were just kind of pace of play turnovers that they were going entirely too fast. I would be curious to have heard both conversations.
Polar Bears will turn it over. Down court quickly. Shot no good. Burner will have it. Here comes Long. Long wants to go to the baseline. Puts a shot up. Gets his own rebound. Puts it up again. Missed it twice. And Ohio Northern coach Neil Young pleading for a foul.
He can move faster in his sneakers today. Coaches versus Cancer with the sneakers this week.
And up court comes Napier. He'll have it on the outside.
I think you're going to reach maybe a 2 or 3 minute stretch coming up. But CJ is going to have to be everything run through him. If he can get on, he can create a lot of things.
That's a foul, bud. What do you think?
The explanation. There's Neil Young. He's not happy either, but the explanation was he should get some of the baked goods in the hallway.
Yeah, really.
It's the Bake for Cancer game for the women coming up in a bit. But I love, though, that the official gave it right back to Coach Fueline. He said he was on the ground. I didn't call it that way. What do you want? He said, I wanted a foul.
Great conversation right in front of us. Will Miller with the basketball. He'll go to Burner on the right side. And through it all, it's only a 1-point lead.
Great roll by Burner.
Michael Burner. We talked a little bit about how well Michael Burner has played, but you would like to see him get a few more buckets. That time he connects.
Yeah, and he lost his man. I don't know what happened there, but Christian Parker sort of fell down, and he actually had to stumble twice for Burner to get that easy bucket.
Shot from long range. There it is. Gurley.
Three-time All-OAC pick, 40 points in his career high where he hit 11 threes. Freshman of the year, but that's his first basket.
Napier goes in and out. Scott just misses the rebound, and Gurley will bring it up court. He goes inside.
What a block. Napier had it for a second.
Christian Parker will power it in as Mount Union wanted to keep this game up tempo.
18 a game, that's just 5 for him.
Burner shot is blocked by Parker.
I think that was, you got me once, you're not getting me again.
Newsom. Shot no good, and Miller with the rebound.
I love that he stared at C.J. Napier, but Napier is the one that kind of got a foul. Burner to the rack for 2 and a foul. There you go. There's your instant offense for the biggest guy on the floor.
Michael Burner powers it in. Take a look at this one more time.
Ball movement.
Not to be denied. Puts it up. Strong move. He'll score.
Now he's got to make this one. 18 to 38 on the line on the year.
Burner
actually
will connect.
I was going to say he's number 5 in the league in blocks.
1-point lead.
How many times would you tell people coming out of the half the first 5 points for Northern will be scored by Michael Burner?
Since he averages, 5.2 points per game. Shot from the outside is good as Braden Poole.
Cannot let him get hot. That's just his 3rd make from outside in 13 attempts, but that's another guy that if he gets going, you're going to be looking the wrong way on the scoreboard.
Miller. Left side and Scott. Inside. Shot no good, and he'll draw the foul and should go to the free throw line. That'll go against Colin Gurley. That'll be his first.
It's a great move by Scott. Watch him spin baseline, and when he comes back, you'll see where the foul is, right? Probably there on the reach. And Gurley turned around, and he went to the baseline official, who pretty much said, I'm not dealing with you. And then he went to the second official at midcourt, and when he started talking to him, that's when Coach Fueline came over and said, enough. And then he gave his piece.
Second free throw, no good. Opportunity missed there by Ohio Northern. 4-point lead for Mount Union and the basketball. Chris Painter Jr. with it. Number 3 brings it back out. Takes it inside. Logan Hill back to Painter. Shot no good. A rebound, though, comes down to Poole. Poole wants to work on Napier, and we've got a foul. Let's see who it's on.
I'm going to guess Will Miller. Nope.
I was going to guess the same.
I thought Miller because I thought I saw his hand come through there, but maybe a little bit worse that it ends up being the second on C.J. Napier.
16:31 to go in the half. Inbounds pass. Gurley, there it is.
He was almost, there's a kid back there in a chair. He was almost sitting in his lap when he put that up.
Northern will take the timeout. Be a 30-second timeout or score. Mount Union 44, Ohio Northern 38. We'll keep it right here and remind you that today's game brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons drive-thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, whatever cards and games, and NKTelco, all bringing you today's OAC game from the Ohio Northern University campus. Replays of today's basketball game will be shown on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Thursday, February the 16th at 7 p.m. Sunday, February the 5th at 5 p.m.
Different lineup as Bell comes back in, and there's what I was talking about earlier. There are a lot of people populating the Bake for K bake sale that they have going on here. It's the Bake a Difference game, raising money for the Amy Weeks Foundation and a cause near and dear to my heart, breast cancer awareness, and also cookies and pies, and they had some fudge out there as well.
All good stuff. Miller will have the basketball. Burner back over to Bell, who comes into the lineup. The lob inside. Napier a little bit too deep. He'll come back out, make the move inside. Shot partially blocked there by Hill. It's going to go out of bounds and toss back in to Gurley.
What did you notice about that play, though? None of the other four players for Northern were even remotely moving to try to help CJ out.
Foul will go against Logan Hill.
He's a mountain of a man. You can't not notice him.
6'7".
And the beard.
Out of Maslin Jackson. That's where Mike Foley fuel line came from.
Which is kind of ironic because you know what Maslin Jackson's nickname is? They're the Polar Bears.
That's right, Polar Bears. Saw that in the bio. Inside Napier. Right, left-handed shot is good. Boy, CJ rolls one home at the right time. He's got 12. Ohio Northern finds themselves trailing by 4.
But you see what Mount does so well. They make you kind of flirt with disaster, and that's what ONU's got going on right now. But Hill is just giving away offensive fouls. Oh, actually, they give it to Poole.
That will go against Poole. That'll be his second. Coach Fueline is pleading his case.
The official turned back to him as he's screaming about the play, and he said, just ask him. And what he was saying was, ask your kid if he shoved off of him, because I heard the whole conversation.
That's a good reply.
I've never seen that before. Uh-oh.
Mansfield will come in.
Darrell Newsom's getting his money's worth.
Newsom with his third.
He just said something I can't repeat to his head coach. That's my favorite part about sitting down here, because you don't even need a crowd mic or anything else. You just pick up the sound. So they're very blatant about it.
Scott with the basketball. Miller now with it. Shot clock at 4 seconds. Miller's going to have to do something. Ooh, there's the turnaround. Hits the iron. Scott will grab the rebound just in the nick of time, and Ohio Northern will keep the basketball.
Those are the ones you hate, though. $1 million move and couldn't finish it.
Scott back over to Napier. There's the shot. No good.
It's got to be on Burner.
Foul will go against Burner.
I don't have the same issue with this that everybody here does. I thought the official actually made a pretty good call. If you could see that from where we sit at, it looked like Burner with his left hand sort of shoved just enough to go up and over with the right, but I don't think that's what Neil Young is maybe explaining. That's a third on Burner, though.
Mount Union with the 4-point lead in the basketball. Here comes Hudson. They'll go to the left side. The end of the lane goes Poole. Shot will roll home. Boy, Poole at 6'5" gets up there. Quick foul by Hudson.
He's the first guy, though, to commit a foul on either side in this half that did not immediately track down an official to argue with him.
Hudson guilty of the foul. That'll be his second.
He said, it's fine, I got him. Every once in a while, you commit a foul.
Trying to get him in the corner. Studer in the game with the basketball. Jeffries back out to Scott. Scott to the corner and Miller.
Seemed like Jeffries didn't know he was that deep when he caught that ball. Sort of had to back it out and wait.
Scott into Miller. He'll shoot the three. Shot doesn't go. What a reach by Logan Hill. Brings that one in.
That helps when you're that tall. 6'7" with a ridiculous wingspan.
Could be a big possession here for the Purple Raiders. Poole into the lane, up and in. And it's an 8-point Mount Union lead.
He sort of beat his defender on a dribble he didn't even want to take because he wanted to go back the other way. It looked like off the screen. And then he just decided, all right, one dribble will get me there.
Back over to Studer. Jeffries has it. Scott now with the basketball. There's going to be contact made there. That'll go against Hill. That'll be his third.
Well, they said, oh, that's right. They gave one away because it'll be his second. It's the third one he's committed. The second one they charged him with.
Got a media timeout. 13:03 to go here in the contest. Our score, Mount Union 48, Ohio Northern 40. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
There's a look into the Mount Union Purple Raiders bench as on the court, head coach Mike Fuline talking to one of our officials here tonight.
I was going to say the look at Mount Union's bench, except for any coach named Fuline.
That's right, building, because all the Fulines are having a discussion.
But I mean, how about that? That's such a cool thing, you know, to have your uncle there, and we talked to him before and asked. And he said, you know, normally Dad's here too, which is his brother and the head coach's dad. His uncle is helping out, but I've never been a head coach or never been an assistant until I came here. Well, that's a pretty good place to spend your weekends.
Adam Scott will step to the free throw line.
And you can draw a direct correlation, too, with the hiring of Mike Fuline for resurrecting Mount Union's program.
12 seasons, and 12 seasons pretty much a success.
7 turnovers for Mount, 9 for ONU right now. Adam Scott, uncharacteristically, has missed all 3 of his free throws in the second half.
And Polar Bears are going to catch a break here as Mount Union unforced turnover.
I like the older gentleman in the chair just laughed and watched him walk by. Are you going to get that, or do you want me to? No, you, me, no, you. Okay, you go get that.
It's all yours. Inbounds.
Give that one kid as a punishment from earlier on. Make him on ball duty.
Studer with the basketball. He goes to the right side. Back over to Jeffries. Bell with it now. Scott top of the key. Bell goes inside. Contact made. Ball goes out of bounds.
He just sort of threw it off Corey Hudson's back. That's fine. Make that work. I think Mount's done a much better job here in the first 8 minutes of the second half. But not only hedging ONU's screens, but they must have looked at something at the half.
Gurley with the steal. Trying to get it up court. Good defenses. Polar Bears will tip it out of bounds.
Because whatever it is, this kind of screen and roll from the middle to the left that ONU was so good at creating on the opposite end in the first half, it's just not there right now. And Mount is just jumping every screen.
Inside Hudson, shot no good. Rebound Jeffries.
Also, Mount's getting a lot of free throw line looks.
A lot of time in this one yet. There's the foul.
Say, Adam Scott? No, he gives Ethan Bell.
Ethan Bell. Oh, surprised me. Foul will go against Bell as
But you can see right now, an 8-point game, it's not insurmountable. It's sort of been that way on both. Here's the foul. Watch number 3 right here. I mean...
Boy. Well, if you go with the way they are calling the game.
They called it, right.
Yeah, it is a foul.
But it's kind of a
tough one.
An odd thing. Northern went back to a bigger lineup. They brought Will Miller in. They brought the spark plug back in and landed long in the first half.
Gurley shot no good. Rebound comes down to Mansfield. Here comes a 3 by Collier. No good. Hill just pushes it in.
That ball had no business going in. He put it in, looked like it was going to miss right. It spun around and fell down, and now a 10-point lead for the number 3 team in the country.
11:43 left to play in this one. Our score, Mount Union 50, Ohio Northern 40. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Wagner's IGA has been servicing their communities for more than 95 years, spanning 3 generations. Wagner's founded their business on 2 basic principles: excellent customer service and quality products. Visit all our locations and experience the finest selection of deli, fresh meats, and variety of beverage choices. While there, don't forget to check out our vast selection of fresh coffee beans, produce, dairy, and bakery items. Visit Wagner's today in Minster, Fort Laramie, and New Bremen, and check us out on Facebook.
There you see the Ohio Northern University bench and head coach Neil Young mapping out some strategy on that clipboard as he talks to his team. Find themselves down by 10 after a crushing rebound and put back up and in, and all in one motion by Logan Hill.
Again, helps when you're 6'7", but this is a big time for Northern. You've got to get something. They make a substitution for what they had been doing. They bring in Carson Conley at 6'1" to play with Burner and Miller and Landon Long up front. But with CJ Napier, again, I said he's got to have time. Really, when he's been playing at times, he's been playing 1-on-3. And it's because nobody's been there to sort of help him out. You can get him going.
Miller with the basketball. Napier with it. He's going to go into the lane. And the foul will go against number 21, Dante Collier.
Looked like Collier just sort of hooked him with the right hand on the arm as he went down through. But this isn't the worst thing in the world on paper to have CJ at the line with a clock stop down 10.
Free throw rolls home.
He's 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Now 64 of 82.
Second free throw also good. He's got 14. Purple Raiders with the basketball, 8-point difference.
But at what point, though, if you're Coach Trueline, I mean, you're a team that you have 50 right now, halfway through the second half. You average 82 a game. At what point do you run a couple more sets? Because they've taken a ton of threes in this game.
Lots of threes. Take a look at the official number 22. Inside, there's the move. Hudson. Pushes the lead back to 10.
Watch him split 4 defenders. And they gave it to Burner, so that'll be his 4th.
So Heath Jeffries will come back in. Burner goes out.
There's your man, Corey Hudson again. 13 points in the game for him.
6'1" freshman. He'll connect.
You know, that's such a big thing, though, too, because if you look up and down Northern's lineup, you've got a bunch of 6'6" guys, but they're all wing players. The only other option that you have in terms of a size with Hill at 6'7" down there is 6'9" Hayden Hansen, and he's only played in 4 games.
Inside Jeffries. Miller. And that's going to be offensive foul on the Polar Bears.
And again, the way that it's been called.
Yes, in today's basketball world, they're going to call that one right away. And Hudson will have it out front. Back over to Gurley. Hudson loses the ball. Jeffries will pick it up. Long's going to bring it up court. Miller. Carson Conley. Back over to Napier. Inside he goes. Off balance shot. Boy, what a beautiful move. CJ Napier, he's got 16.
Now you've got to capitalize on it. You've got to slow Mount down, come up with a couple of steals, and put together at least a 2 or 3 basket run.
Pass inside Mansfield. Miller is going to pick up that steal.
There's the first part of it.
Long for 3.
He was at John Antoni's when he took that shot.
He was.
Walked through the front door and said, look what I can do. You also got to be a little bit lucky.
Just a little bit outside on that one.
My father-in-law used to say, you know what, even the really good teams need a little bit of luck sometimes. This is not good, though, necessarily for Northern. For Braden Poole, who's, I maintain that he's longer at 6'5" than maybe what Hill is at 6'7". I know that doesn't maybe necessarily make sense based on numbers, but just kind of the way they play.
He doesn't look 6'5". He looks a little bit taller, and he plays taller for sure. There's the step. That is Gurley guilty of the turnover.
I have that as a 6th turnover of the half against Mount Union. They only had 5 in the first half.
Just past the halfway mark of the second half. High Northern finds himself down by 9 points. Bears going to run their offense. Napier rolls inside. Miller will take it to Long. Trying to get it inside to Napier.
But see, Mount knows that one of 2 things is going to happen. Either CJ Napier is going to work from the elbow down and just kind of try to flash across, or somebody else is going to be standing in the corner. So they only have to play those 2 things right now.
Outside shot, Gurley knocks it home. Got a timeout on the court. Mount Union 56, Ohio Northern 44. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports. Minutes, 52 seconds to go in this one. Just talking a little bit about Mount Union's depth. They are an extremely deep team as you take a look at the folks here this afternoon. Watching game number 1. This is the men's contest coming up. Nationally ranked Ohio Northern's women's team will take the court against Mount Union. But right now, the Polar Bear men in a battle with Mount Union, which also a nationally ranked team, and down by 12 points against the Purple Raiders.
Ranking ever for Mount Union, a team that went to the NCAA tournament 2 of the last 3 years. And actually it's 2 of 2. It's 2 of the last 3 are non-COVID years.
Napier inside against Poole, and Poole will draw the foul.
You know, it's crazy what a difference 48 hours makes, because that's the kind of shot that he got to go down the other night, that it was just kind of that crazy thing where he'd pick up the foul and then get that shot. Right now, the Bears 8 of 13 at the line.
Napier will connect. He's got 17.
He's 6 of 7. Here's a crazy stat for you. Mount Union, who shot almost 30 free throws in the first meeting, has 4 attempts in this one.
Second free throw also good. Difference is 10 points.
That and Corey Hudson's got 13. He's got 13 against Capital this year, but his career high was 14 against Heidelberg.
Shot no good. Battle inside for the rebound. It's going to come away to Will Miller somehow. Christian Parker had a real good look at that one and didn't get it to fall, which is a big break for Northern. Scott with a short jumper. He'll tip it. Napier will get it back out front. Jeffries into the lane.
You got to be ready to shoot that.
Miller, they lose it. Boy, that's a possession
ready.
wasted. Here comes the lead pass. Shot doesn't go by Christian Parker.
Better lucky than good.
Northern hanging. 10-point difference. Let's see if they can make the most of this opportunity. Scott inside Napier. Scott will push out. Napier, shot no good. Rebound comes down to Parker.
It looked like he played for the contact on that play. Just too strong going up. Wow.
Backcourt foul. It's going to go on Heath Jeffries, 6'6", senior out of Newark Catholic.
The Green Wave.
That's right, the Green Wave, Newark Catholic, as Michael Berner will come back into the game. 7:34 to go. He's got 4 fouls.
And again, when he's come in the last 2 times, he went into the half with 3, and he's come out, he's been out for, what, 4 or 5 minutes. But the last couple of times, Mount has gone right at him with their big guys.
Parker with it. Turnaround jumper, boy, instant.
It's a great win-win perspective if you're Mount, though, because Parker knocks it down from the baseline. He's a guy who can shoot from pretty much anywhere. Top 5 scorer in the league, but, you know, worst case, he draws a foul and Berner's gone.
Berner back over to Long. Polar Bears looking for some offense. Long slips inside and he'll score. Landon Long.
First 2 of the half.
Got 9. Big basket for Long.
But again, you've got to make a 4 to 6 point run here if you're Northern. If you go into the final 3 minutes and you're within maybe 5, 2 possessions, you've got a chance in this game.
Back over to the right side it goes to Mansfield. Mansfield, that'll be the reach. It's going to be on Miller.
I believe Miller thought that he tied that ball up. Oh, they've got another visit to the student section.
And we're going to evacuate a few folks. Got a timeout with 6:28 to go. Our score, Mount Union 58, Ohio Northern 48. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
There you see Neil Young with Ohio Northern, and we just witnessed history, at least in our lives, as officials removed about 15
They're pleading their case over there, too. I think what he said was, have you guys bought anything for the bake sale table yet? No, it would probably be a good time for you to go visit.
That might just be.
And there you see on that shot across the way that the entire front row is now vacant. If you're coming for the women's game, good seats still available.
Yes, yeah. I think the approach is the bake sale, though. Yeah, we asked them to make a purchase from the bake sale table.
You guys spent enough money at the bake sale table, we'll let you come back.
Mansfield will connect with the free throw.
There you see, there's the empty row. That's his first point. He had missed his first 2 free throws way back in the early part of the first half.
Mansfield came into today's game with a 9-point average. He'll hit a second free throw. Like you said earlier, Wilmington keeps popping up on the radar this week as far as high school basketball.
Must have something going on down there.
Will Miller back over to Long. And they're hollering post.
Now somebody else has to flash to Napier because he's got 3 guys in a span of about 6 feet. Somebody has to be open.
All the way over to Miller. Long. Burner. Scott will take the 3. Shot no good. Napier tips it just enough for Miller to get it. Ohio Northern will set it. Miller for 3. There it is. Will Miller gets the 3.
But look how hard Northern had to work for that one shot. That's what Mount's switches have done to them.
9-point lead. Inside they go. Shot no good. Rebound Scott. Here comes Long.
I think the only problem right now, and I get that it sets and that was a disaster.
Boy, almost, but Long will have it.
But right now with having the guys who aren't accustomed like that with Burner to
Miller.
create.
There it is.
You need guys who will catch and shoot as soon as they get the ball. That guy is going to do it every time.
Miller's got 8. Working on that 30 you asked for, Michael. And suddenly Northern making some noise here as we come up on the 5-minute mark. 6-point game. Inside Parker, there's the feed to Braden Poole. He'll score. We've got a timeout. Mount Union, 4:58 to go in this one.
That 6-point run I was talking about did not involve letting them have 2.
Got a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here as Mount Union 62, Ohio Northern 54. I'd like to remind you that this afternoon's contest brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant. 4 Seasons drive-thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, whatever cards and games, and NKTelco. And today's game will be replayed on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Thursday, February the 16th at 7 p.m. and then on the following Sunday at 5 p.m. Watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Mount Union takes the timeout, up by 8. Set their defense and apply some pressure here against Ohio Northern. Burner will inbound it to Long. Across the timeline.
A good solid possession here for Northern. Does not have to be a 3, although that wouldn't hurt.
Burner tried to get it inside to Napier, but Poole's going to make the catch, and Ohio Northern with the turnover.
Those are the hardest ones sometimes with that inside out, where it's the big guy throwing downhill because he's just seeing it differently.
Burner had his hands on it, but it's tipped out of his hands by Christian Parker.
He was visibly frustrated. You can see, I mean, he's only got 7. Remember, he's the 2nd leading scorer in the entire league.
Burner to Long. Now Miller. As you can see, the clock coming up on 4:20. Long. Out here, there needs points.
Northern's getting close to what I was talking about, being within 5 in about 3 minutes.
There comes Long, stops his dribble. He's in trouble, puts it up and in. Landon Long, that was a great shot by Long.
Changed his name to Landon Smart on that play.
11 points somehow up through 2 Mount Union defenders, and it's a 6-point game.
See, now you're in Mount's head a little bit. You got to stay away from Corey Hudson.
Hudson. Easy bucket. Braden Poole.
I got to believe that Corey Hudson's going to be the next great one at ONU, or at Mount Union, rather, because he just sees the floor so well.
Poole with 14 points. Will Miller with the basketball. He'll get it over to Burner. Out front, Miller looking inside. Miller will go inside. Meets Parker, dumps it off to Burner, and they'll get it back out to Long. Shot clock coming up on 5 seconds. And there's going to be a, what I think is a reach. We'll see.
Should be on Mansfield.
Foul will go against Jeffrey Mansfield. That'll be his 2nd foul. Got a full timeout coming up. 3:14 to play. Mount Union 64, Ohio Northern 56. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Mount Union with the lead, 64-56, and just about at 3:14 to go in this one. We're coming down to stretch time, and not quite that 5-point deficit that Ohio Northern's facing that you had asked for, Michael. It's 8 points, but we'll have to see how things fall out here. Ohio Northern 20 out of 43 from the field at 47%, 6 out of 15 from behind the arc. Mount Union at 45%, 26 out of 58. Fired up 23 threes here this afternoon and connected on 8 as Long steps to the line.
28-26 Mount in the paint. That's a big one. 24-9 and points off the bench. There it goes back to that conversation we had earlier as Long misses his first free throw of the day about depth and about effective depth for Mount. But I was laughing at the little girl dancing during the comeback there. They gave her a little shark and she started laughing. And then as the 3 Mount kids came out on the floor, they were all dancing too. I would be dancing with an 8-point lead.
Mount Union with the basketball. Parker with it out front. Hudson, he goes to the left side, into the lane, trying to toss it back out. Comes all the way back up to Gurley, who shot no good, to the floor, and there's going to be a travel.
Colin Gurley's just throwing his hands up. Did he not get fouled? Is that not why he's on the floor? Official just walked right past him. Neil Young's leaving. He's headed to the bake table. Actually went for a Gatorade.
Little maintenance duty on the court here. It's a 7-point lead for Mount Union.
It's like a free timeout. Just catch your breath.
Miller.
I think Adam Scott has to be involved in this set of possessions.
They'll go inside to Napier. Somehow he gets it. Working on Poole, back out to Miller. Got to give Mount Union credit. They've got some pretty good defenses. Scott will score. And you're right on that one, Michael.
And just everything is focused on C.J. Napier on that low block, and Mount is pretty much sold out on it. They base their defense on putting 3 guys in his area. It has to come from somebody else. We've seen Miller, but I think it's got to be Adam Scott.
And it's only a 5-point Mount Union lead.
That's on Burner. He's gone.
Burner will pick up 22. Napier picks up his 3rd.
Well, I had the 5 points right, but I was about a minute off.
2:09.
2:09 and change is close enough. 3 minutes, right?
3-point shot will can make things interesting if you miss an occasional free throw.
I say, unfortunately, Poole's 2 for 2, and he's 25 of 37.
15 points in the afternoon. Make it 16 as Jeffrey Mansfield will come in and Gurley will go out.
I love it immediately. The 6 coaches all tell him different things. He's trying to listen to all of them at the same time.
Will Miller.
See, now Miller's got to kind of hesitate because nobody came to him initially. And like I said, there you go. Look at the triangle of purple defenders. just waiting for Napier to have to come to the ball.
Long for three, shot no good. Napier with the tip, no good. Rebound, Scott comes up with it, but it gets into the hands of Newsom, and now the Purple Raiders will bring it up court.
That's a shame, too, because that was such a good look, and Miller has to stop the clock with a minute and a half. This is a team in Mount Union that shoots 63% from a line as a group. You put Corey Hudson there. He's not done it today, but he's just about a 50% shooter at 23 of 48. Wins the shoe game, though.
Hudson at the line, and he'll connect.
There's that guy again, tied his career high.
Got 13.
I have him for 14.
I thought we had him at 14. I thought the board had him at 14. Second free throw, now he's at 14, because I think we had that discussion.
I have him for 15, but what do I know?
Northern will take the timeout. Minute 27 to go. Full timeout, so we've got a break in the action. Mount Union 68, Ohio Northern 59. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
We are here, and here, and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
68-59 Mount Union, minute 27 to go. Now you're Neil Young in the huddle there as you take a look at Ohio Northern. Not much choice but to send Mount Union to the free throw line.
Yeah, and the problem is that Mount hasn't done a ton, but they haven't missed a ton. They've only missed 2, and those were Jeffrey Mansfield way back in the early part of the first half. It's a tall lineup, too, coming back in. And now you also kind of get caught in the spot of with this lineup on. You have C.J. Napier out there down low. You've got Will Miller. You'll have Adam Scott triggered in with Landon Long. But remember, Burner cannot be the guy to commit a foul because he's got 4.
Napier with the basketball. Long. Napier to the baseline. Puts it up and in. Nice strong move. 7-point lead for Mount Union.
Good little give and go series there with he and Long. And the defense, if you saw it, I said you move him off the low block, make him kind of work a little bit. The defense had to figure out, all right, which guy do we think is going to drive?
Hudson. He'll handle the basketball. Clock goes under a minute. Miller out front. Christian Parker comes out inside the lane. There's the foul. Foul will go against Will Miller.
Again, based on how they've been calling it. Well, that's one of those ones where you kind of look at it and you go, I think in a normal, maybe early in the first half, that's probably one they let go. It's just kind of a bump on each side. Hudson's hit 2 of 2.
Miller. Northern finally gets a miss.
Remember, he did not score. He's a freshman averaging 6.6 a game, and depending on who you believe, he has 14 or 15. My theory is 11 plus 4 is 15.
That free throw is good. And the difference is 8. Miller. Inside Burner. Nice feed to Scott. Ball is on the floor, though. They're going to call a jump ball.
There are 3 options on that play. Jump ball is the 8th option I thought we were going to end up with.
Definitely timeout was called.
I'm also trying to figure out, watch this. Let's see off Burners. It's just a little too much the defense got there. It goes to the floor, and then you'll see it kind of roll across. Now, he rolls over. Miller for 3.
Got it. Will Miller. Northern will take the timeout. Miller now has 11 points. And Ohio Northern will talk some more strategy. The game is 5 points, 27.1 left to play, and stranger things have happened before, Michael.
Yeah, and we've seen them in this building.
And this building, that's correct.
No matter how this game turns out, we obviously don't know. There's a lot of time left. The game clock and the shot clock won't necessarily be an issue because the shot clock will be off for whatever happens. But look at this performance for Northern. I mean, the number 3 team in the country comes in here. They're obviously a little shell-shocked with how they lost to nationally ranked John Carroll a couple of nights ago. But you're holding on. This is like a playoff game here at home to try to get into the OAC tournament. And no matter how this plays out, I think Northern has done a heck of a job here in front of the home crowd today of staying with Mount, saying, we're going to take your punches, but we're not going to fall down.
Good description of it, Michael. How Northern has played very tough throughout this one. And the difference, only 5. 27 seconds remain. Polar Bears, 15 turnovers. Mount Union, 14. You take a look at points in the paint. 30 for Ohio Northern, 28 for Mount Union.
We were talking about assistant coach Fuline earlier on, and I just heard him say out of the timeout, how did we not get the timeout? We had the ball. All right.
Court length pass. It hits Scott. Napier dives for it. That's going to go out of bounds. And Scott's and everyone trying to be the official.
It's a good thing those guys in the front row are gone.
They would be gone now.
They would be gone, yes. That whole play takes about 3.5 seconds, but I love the facilitation of Mason Studer. A freshman went over there to calm everybody down and said, it's fine, we're okay. We have shown what we can do now. Mount's going to have to take a timeout.
Timeouts back and forth, 23.7 seconds left to go in this one. Mount Union will have it at midcourt. That's a full timeout.
And actually, I love that the gentlemen that got asked to leave are just standing over to the left of that shot right now with that young lady, and she's keeping about 15 of them in check.
That was a bizarre situation from earlier, but we won't dwell on that. 5-point difference, Mount Union with the basketball. And I'd like to remind you that today's game hit Ohio Northern, brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant. 4 Seasons drive-through, Jalapenos, Mexican Grill, whatever cards and games in NKTelco. And the John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard reads 23.7 seconds, 69-64 our score. How does this one play out? Mount Union will have the basketball.
I was just thinking we honored the 93 national champs at the half. I wonder if DeArtis Jones has still got any eligibility left. We can maybe get him at least
into the game.
He get about 24 seconds of work.
Oh, he looked like he was capable.
A couple of those guys look like they probably still ball.
Who else was in that group? Who was recognized? Nick Berkey out of Shawnee High School. John Cook.
A couple of Salina guys. And Coach Campoli's here.
Yeah, Coach Campoli and Coach Daughtery also. A couple of legendary Ohio Northern coaches.
Foul on Will Miller away from the ball. Not the worst thing in the world. He fouled Darrell Newsom. 10 of 15 from the line on the year, but it didn't take any time off the clock.
Darrell Newsom at the line. He connects.
First point for him in this second half. He hit that big 3 to tie the game at 3, went on an 8-point run, but hasn't had to be the scorer as he's looking around and realizing he has no purple-clad friends.
Newsom spins the basketball. Comes the second shot. It's good as well as he moves into double figures.
That's a heartbreaker. 6 of the last difference. 8 points for Mount have come from the line.
Napier into the lane, puts it off the glass, no good. Tip by Scott, battle for the rebound. 2 teams hit the floor.
Let's be on Studer.
Long got uplifted there by Colin Gurley.
I did not realize that Gurley was studying to be a chiropractor.
Of course, you got to realize these guys have probably played against each other here in the OAC for 4 years.
Ed Gurley, who came in, let's see what he's got. He's got just 8 points in this ball game, but he's near going up a couple of spots in the OAC, or rather in the scoring list. He actually is 3 away from becoming the 15th all-time leading scorer in Mountain history. Mansfield knocks down the free throw.
72-64, just 10 seconds remaining.
I don't necessarily think the scoreboard is going to be indicative of how this game went.
Second free throw also good. 9-point difference.
9 of the last 10 from the line from out.
Miller. He'll shoot the 3. Shot no good. Scott up and in. And that's going to wrap it up here. Final seconds. It's a 73-66. Ohio Northern lost to Mount Union as the nationally ranked Purple Raiders pick up the win.
So we'll talk about what happened here in just a couple of minutes. A big 3 right before the halftime break ended up helping Mount Union get to the win. Northern now falls to 9-10 on the year. They're 5-7 in the OAC, trying to hang on through that top 6 spots. Of course, the top 2 get buys. Right now, Northern would be set with Baldwin Wallace and Otterbein, needing a couple of wins in their last handful of games, as we find out just what exactly is on the mind of Coach Young here in a second. His team, valiant effort to the number 3 team in the country. Mount, though, now 17-2 overall. They bounced back from a loss the other night for their 10th OAC win. And we see what's on Coach Young's mind.
A really determined effort here this afternoon by your squad throughout the entire contest. What can you take away from, even though it's a loss, what do you take away from this game against nationally ranked Mount Union?
I mean, we're getting better, you know what I mean? But there's a difference between competing with a team like this and beating a team like this, right? We just got to continue to close the gap in terms of how we work, how we operate, how we recruit, how we do all those things. But yeah, I'm certainly pleased with the way our guys fought. I mean, we were down 10 with 11 to go, could have mailed it in, didn't, fought our way back, made it interesting. So yeah, it was a good effort by our guys.
When you take a look at the contest overall, what are the positives, a couple of the positives that you take away as you go into the really a stretch drive for you and the trying to make that playoff spot in the tournament?
Again, we continue to get better. That's the main positive. So we don't have to be anybody else. We can just be us and continue to work on what we do, and our stuff works, right? What we do is good enough. So we just got to continue to stick with the plan.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Mount Union with the win over Ohio Northern here this afternoon. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Whatever Cards and Games in Ada is your locally owned, family-friendly business for all your gaming needs. We carry a wide range of collectible card games, board games, family games, role-playing games, educational games for all ages, and more. Stop in today for your much-needed expansion packs and war miniatures. We are an official tournament store for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Cardfight Vanguard. Expect an enjoyable time at Whatever Cards and Games, where there's fun for everyone.
Four Seasons drive-thru, we have the coolest beverages in town and specials to satisfy all appetites.
Check out our Facebook page for all the details and times of Roundy's Pies. Get this great pizza by the slice or take home a whole pie. And don't forget his spectacular subs.
At Four Seasons drive-thru, we have all the supplies you need for game day celebrations.
Four Seasons drive-thru, 205 North Main Street in Ada. Great drinks, great food, wonderful service, and amazing prices.
Go Bears!
households are using more connected devices than ever before. TVs are streaming, smartphones are browsing, security cameras are watching, and virtual assistants are, well, assisting.
You'll need an umbrella today.
As you add more devices, we are constantly improving our technology to deliver the fastest and most reliable internet to your home. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get NKTelco high-speed internet with speeds up to 1 gig. Call 1-888-NKTelco today.
Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County has a job for you. Grand Lake Health System has over 800 employees. Included is Joint Township District Memorial Hospital and multiple physician practices. And we're now hiring a variety of positions that fit all education and skill levels. Plus, you'll get a great benefit package offered to both full and part-time workers. Join this rewarding career and help your community in the process. Contact Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County for all your employment needs.
Northern here, but one thing that's pretty clear in the interview with Coach Neil Young, Ohio Northern is improving. They are getting better as they took the Purple Raiders right down to the final minute or so.
Yeah, I thought his comment about there's a difference in hanging with teams like this and beating teams like this was telling. And, you know, we talked about culture a couple of nights ago when he wasn't happy at the half about you have to do certain things if you want to play for this program. And it's definitely trending in the right direction. I mean, they're 9-10 on the year. They're kind of right on the bubble of what's going to happen with maybe a postseason berth in the OAC. But they've got so much good, and it just has to all gel together.
Let's take a look at our numbers here, brought to you by Wagner's IJ. There's the tail of this afternoon's men's basketball game as the ladies are warming up right now for the nightcap of this afternoon's doubleheader.
Mount ended up 13-16 from the line. That was the last probably 3 minutes. I think they took 10 free throws. They were 3 of 4 for a good portion of this ball game. But if you look at kind of time of the lead, Mount Union led for 20:02, ONU at 13:38. They were tied 6 times. There were 5 lead changes. Mount didn't lead in double digits until late in the second half. But, I mean, Northern hung in there. You just, some points need to go down. I mean, Adam Scott ends up with 11, 4 guys in double figures. Just those guys off the bench, and something we talked about for Mount. They got guys off their deeper bench, but every one of them that came in played as effective or more than the guy who was there before him.
Yeah, we talked about that during the game. The depth of Mount Union definitely a factor in this contest. But Mount
Corey
Union
Hudson came off the bench and had 17. He's got 2 games of double figures in his freshman career.
Impressive. Yep. I'd like to thank our sponsors for this afternoon's broadcast. We've got the women's game coming up here in just about 24 minutes or so. So we'd like to thank our sponsors, John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, whatever cards and games, and NKTelco. Scoreboard sponsor, John and Tony's. Additional sponsors, whatever cards and games, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, and Jalapenos Mexican Grill with locations in Ada and Shawnee. Northwest Ohio Liquidations, Holiday Inn Express, Wapakoneta. I'd like to remind you also that today's game will be replayed on NKTelco channel 3 and HD 503 on Thursday the 16th at 5 p.m. Sunday the 19th at 5 p.m. I'd like to thank our crew here this afternoon on the cameras, Mark Fissel, Paul Downing, and Josh Miller, Assistant Director Jim Miller, Director Scott Robinson. I'm Dave Helmstetter. Along with me this afternoon, Michael Hearn. You've been watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.